Hello, welcome to the channel. Trust you're all fit and well. I did say the last cod session a couple of weeks ago was going to be the last roll of the dice, but I just thought, why not? With my pal Henry tonight, we've been trying to catch up all season, it just hasn't happened, so we finally picked a night. We've got, to be fair, it's just one of those belting nights to be out. There's not a breath of wind, literally not a breath of wind. It's totally different when I was out last time. The stars, it's only been dark for about an hour, the stars are amazing. We've got no moon, we've got a really big tide. It's about a 0.66 tonight. So we've come up out onto the rocks, onto a bit of rough ground. Top end of Lynemouth again, just purely because it's midweek. I've got work in the morning. It's a 2-minute walk from the car. It just works, and there's always a little bit of depth, hopefully a bit of tide off the front of these rocks. So first bait, I've got the usual pulley rigs, Aero pulley. This is a start right rig, which you might have seen on another video. Brilliant bit of kit. Aero pulley on the top, 75 £, snood, power swivel, 60 £, amnesia. Hook length on the bottom, I'm using a Trident kicker. That's a Thermalink as well, and that green bit of sleeve just helps the sinker jam up into the Aero pulley if we're all lucky enough to get a fish. So as I say, that's a Trident kicker. I'm using fairly long bait, so I'm going for Kamasan. I think it's a B930 Uptide Viking 6.0. Don't know if it's called a Viking, but I'll show you the pack in a minute. And that is a Cox and Roll. In fact, no, that particular one is a Mustard Demon Circle. Bottom, 6-ounce sinker. And on the business end, Century Eliminator T800, and this rod can easily cope with a little bit of rough ground. And that's teamed up with me Shimano Power Aero 14,000 XSD, 61 £, Berkeley Whiplash, and that is an 80 £, 4-strand leader tied with a 12-turn uni knot. So we'll fire a couple of baits out into the tide. You never know, we might catch something. It's March on Saturday, so it's the 27th Feb, so I think anything with fins, and I would even take a rockling, believe it or not. So let's get a bait out, see what we can do. Right, it's a nice little casting platform here. See how my casting is. A little while since I've been out. First cast, so it was a bit of a tester, isn't it? So let's see. Tell you what, I do love fishing with this T800, especially with that Power Aero as well. Right, come on. I might have something on here. First cast is a bit of action straight away there. Last 5 minutes has just been a few kind of fairly sharp bites. A look of a coley or a rockland mine, not a codling, but as I say, I'll settle for absolutely anything tonight. Got a tiny little bit of sea. There was a bit of northwesterly blowing last night, this morning. It's back right off. The house just left maybe a foot or two of swell, which is obviously good. Coupled with that big tide, and there's still plenty of colour in the water, so yeah, drop into a hole there. Bollocks. And he's just had a thumper of a bite. Come on. Meanwhile, I struck into mine, nothing. Felt my sinker drop into the ledge and lost absolutely everything, including my leader, so just currently setting another rig up. Anything there? Yeah, mate. You got it? Did they? Just give it a bit of slack for a couple of minutes. Right, so I've just lost everything. So it turns out it's a lot rougher out there than what I thought. So just thought I'd show you I'm still going to use a pulley, but what I'm going to do is to try and combat the snags. I'm just going to use a single hook. That'll bend out with strong enough braid. That's one of the 6/0 camisans. Standard sort of swivel system. The bottom end, this is quite a nifty little component. It's called a canny link. And what you've got is a bait clip on one side, and then your hook, which is basically a rotter kind of built in on the other. So you can just hang that. You've got a loop now. Little tip that was given to me by Ridian in Wales. So Ridian, if you're watching, finally put this into practice. Instead of just tying a normal grinner or whatever, tie a surgeon's loop on there, and that just helps that to articulate better when it hasn't got a knot tied to it. So we'll get that one baited up and whacked out and see if we can get one. Henry's just lost one as well, so there's obviously someone out there. Might just be Coley's, but this time of year we'll settle for them. In fact, I'm saying a surgeon's loop, it's not. Calamity Craig strikes again. That's a perfection loop, not a surgeon's loop. A bit of a mind blank there, but same sort of knot that you'd use for your dongle hook. So get it baited up, see if we can get someone. Right, just going for a small bluey head and a coral stick on there, so let's see if we can pull out whatever it is that's been biting. Kelp heads are starting to show out here now. You see I've got a big tide, it's about 0.6, so because of that, because the water is getting shallow in front, I'm going to hit it a bit harder and try and get out into a bit of tide. Come on. Cracking evening though, really nice. That's it, try and keep as much. Oh, has it has it come off? Yeah, keep winding as quick as you can, that's it. Anything there? Nothing. Oh well. Just had a pretty decent bite there. We're more or less on the bottom of the tide now. Probably got about another 20 minutes. Good slam. I looked up, the whole rod was shaking. We've shifted along about 30 yards because there's just a bit too much kelp starting to show, and I just fancy to change. The bites have dried up, so shift along here. Just had definitely a decent bite there. And I'll give it a couple of minutes. Well, I've just had it. There's definitely a fish on here. It's nearly just ripped the rod out the stand. Goes again. It was a hell of a bite, that. There's a couple of big bangs before, but they came to nothing. I don't know if there's a fish just lying on. It's always the same. Pick your rod up and then... Come on. Tempted to wind into it, but just kind of want to feel one more bite before I do. Give it a couple of minutes. That was an absolutely stonking bite, that mind. Right, I've had a couple of massive bites on this, but it hasn't come to anything, so no, give that a bit of slack. Right, well, that's the end of the session. Had that absolutely slamming bite. It may well have just been a lobster, but who knows. It's been short and sweet. It's been a nice evening to get out. It's bloody cold though, so it's getting on a bit now. The tide's about to turn, and we've lost probably a lot more gear than what I was anticipating. Actually, I think the issue we've got is such a big tide. A lot of kelp that you usually fish straight over is exposed, so there's not that much depth out there, so you're just pulling into heavy rock and ledges and kelp and stuff, but that's all part of it. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Tight lines, keep fishing. We'll see you in the next one.